Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Friday, December the 16th, a day closer to Christmas. And like every Friday, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Sean Higgs of picksandparleys.net to discuss college basketball. And Sean is, and the records don't lie, folks, one of the finest handicappers in the country when it comes to college basketball. And like I just said, the numbers will verify my claim. Sean, how are you, my friend?
Pretty good. The one thing when you're like hot and doing well, and then you gotta like live up to it. Like, oh, I hope this game wins now. You just talked me up. I'm number one in the money on picks and parlays.
Yeah, it never
Uh,
fails. People wait and wait and wait, and then you have this great win streak, and you're making a lot of money over a 4 to 6 week period of time. Then they jump in, and you have a bad week. You
yeah,
know,
it's gonna
it,
happen.
so the bottom line is what I'm trying to say is when you look at guys like us that have a winning track record over the long haul, the best option to do, folks, is not wait to see who's a set. Because look at, if you keep chasing 67, 70% handicappers over a 4 week period of time, and I don't mean to jinx you, Sean, but it's a matter of time before
Where you?
that levels
Yes,
off or comes
absolutely.
back to reality. I mean, Rocky Atkinson was talking about that today on the Sports Memo TV show I did with him, with Joey D'Amico as a host. That he was at 70%, and over the last 2 weeks in the NFL, he's dropped to 56. And I can guarantee you he got a ton of customers because he was hitting 70% from the beginning of the year, and a lot of unhappy people now that they jumped in he lost. So, but
You,
it's
you can't expect that all. It's insane.
yeah,
I said, I do again. We talk about my little midday money daily show.
yeah,
And I'm like, I feel bad. People see like, oh, he's on top of the leaderboard here. He never loses, and then you go like 4-4 in NFL.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm still 64%. It's great. It's not 3-1 or 6-2 or 6-4 to get that 60%. College basketball, awesome November. I had a 10-day stretch where I was every day, 1-3, 2-6, like just hovering around 500. I go 3-1, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
get
just
it.
kind of bounce out. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's
It's
why
the
it's
nature of the
money
business.
management and
Yeah.
just grind out. Okay, I went 0-2 yesterday. I had Clara and Seattle, two losers. What am I going to do? Or Cal Irvine lost to Santa Clara. All right, well, back at it today. We'll see how we do in basketball. That's all you can do. You're not
Yeah.
gonna hit. This is the problem, though, Russ. People think like that's
Yeah.
maintainable. Like, oh, I get it 70%. Yeah, sure you can, Jack. No
I
problem.
was on a 22-11 run in college basketball going into Wednesday, and I released Maryland at home against UCLA, and they
Oh, they
lost
got
by
pummeled.
30. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, people buy and they say, "Yeah, well, you're terrible." Okay, well, if you're going to judge me on one game, then
Don't
you're
bet.
in you're
Yeah,
in for a lot of problems going forward
yeah.
because
You're not gonna last betting when you bet
no.
one game and you go all in on one game. Good luck
Find
with
one
that.
or two guys that have a good track record over a long period of time in that particular sport or in all sports and stick with them, and like Sean just alluded to. I mean, you're going to have those stretches where you go 1-3, 2-6, 1-7. The bottom line is if that happens right off the bat and you're exercising proper money management, you're going to be able to withstand those bad streaks. And then when Sean heats up or I heat up, you're going to be able to reap in the rewards for your loyalty. So, again, folks, I can't reemphasize this enough on this program. I've done so on numerous occasions over the years. Proper money management, strict money management is crucial no matter who you're dealing with and how good they are. All right, we're
I
gonna.
real fast.
Well,
Right? I had a 3-30 stretch in baseball for like a 10-day period, and that's whatever. That's like 5-6 games. And I still finished. I think on what am I picks parlays and sports capping. I think I'm like number 2, 3 in the money for
yeah,
the year in baseball.
yeah,
You you have to. You're going to have a bad stretch, and you just kind of I got
yeah.
to just grind it out. You can't if you don't think you're going to lose, don't stop. Just
No,
stop watching the
no.
shows. Stop betting. This isn't La La Land. This isn't fake land where people hit 90%. Like, look at this. Here we
Well,
go.
the problem and I'm sure you've experienced this over the last 20 years, like I have, is too many people that give you a call or invest with you have a get rich quick scheme mindset. And the worst people are the people who just bet $100 or $200 a game. Now, I don't have any problem with if that's all you bet. It's okay because I don't want you to bet over your head.
Yeah.
But they're expecting they're going to retire from their job in 2 years by betting $100 or $200 a game. You're not being real. You have to be real. Okay. Now, the difference between me and Sean is a volume guy. He plays a lot of games. And as opposed to anybody in the industry, I'm going out on a limb when I say this. Anybody doing this professionally in this industry, there's nobody better right now. I'm telling you right now, folks, not because he's my friend, not because he's my colleague, not because he's on the show. The numbers will back it. Nobody is a better volume handicapper in the country right now than Sean Higgs.
Thanks.
So, all right. So
now you put that on me now. It's going to be a rough 2 weeks to the new year.
Yeah, right. So anyway, and I'll still have the same opinion if it is. Okay. So we're going to talk 2 college basketball games that will be played on Saturday. Sean will be covering the Virginia and the Virginia-Houston game, and I'll be taking a look at the Kansas and Indiana game. Both games will be on ESPN2 with Virginia and Houston going at 2 o'clock, the Kansas-Indiana game at noon. Before we get to that, Sean, fill the folks in on how you're doing over at picksandparleys.net. A little bit more about your midday money show. Is it Midday Money?
Midday Money
Show, or actually podcast.
Yep.
And what you may have coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Midday Money, 7 days a week, 12 noon Eastern. All the time we roll in there. I give out free picks for the day, and it is like a old Colin show, except it's live chat. So people like to ask what my opinion on their games. I give them their opinions. It's good. It's again 7 days a week on you can find on YouTube. It's also now I got picked up by the Believe network, so you can find
What
it.
is that? What network is that?
Believe.
Oh, Believe.
It's a Believe, right? Believe. Yeah. And it's on Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. So it's a bunch of different platforms people listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I'll eventually, I think, start uploading to their YouTube with the live show, but you can find that on YouTube. Sean Higgs, Midday Money. And coming up, we got bowl games. I got a bunch of bowl games lined up for the weekend. I have NFL, of course. Had the Niners last night. Keep going there. Having a nice NFL season. And of course, basketball. I'm going to find some college hoops. And as Ross mentioned, you're going to have kind of ups and downs. And the way you bet, if you're going well in something, I got 20 NBA games bet, 10-9, but I'm plus 330. I stick with what makes me money. College hoops, NFL, off the charts. That's what we're going to stick to. And bowl games. I'm always pretty solid at bowl games. So
yeah, I've leaned heavily toward my college basketball early on. My NBA is hovering around 500 so far. So I've been leaning on my college basketball, and that's just what we do. I mean,
why force something if it's not there, Ross? Right? It's like,
right. Exactly.
You're seeing the sport well.
22-12 with my last 34. That dates back to November 14th. That's good for 65%. After a 1-4 start to the year, I'm over 60% for the season. NFL is still 57% since 52-39 since January 30th of this year. That'll make you a lot of money. Basketball combined, college basketball and NBA, 77-59 over my last 136. That's good for 57%. My NFL 10-star top plays, which are my best bets, folks. You can get them at my website, rbwins.com, or any other site I post at, which includes picksandparleys.net. I am 12-4 this season with those plays, and also dating back to last year, 22-9 with my last 31 NFL 10-star top plays. So a lot of good things happening.
Yeah,
I do have 2 NFL games for tomorrow listed, posted right now at my website at rbwins.com. I also have a college football 10-star top play tomorrow in the Oregon State and
Florida
game. Yeah. So There you go, folks. rbwins.com is where you could find those picks, and I'll have 3 to 5 picks on Sunday as well. All right, let's get to the free picks at hand. Who do you like? Virginia, Houston, the total? What do you like, my friend?
Yeah, this is a interesting little matchup here between these two. So 2:00 tomorrow. We got a little rematch. Last year, Houston bombarded these guys 67-47 when Virginia came down to Texas, right? But and I like Houston. I look at this and they're ranked, whatever they're ranked now, 5, 6 in the polls. AP coaches are all right there in top 5. I think Virginia is number 2 right now in one of these polls.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean to Virginia here, and I got Houston. I think they're an excellent team. Bama got them, and Bama got them last year. Sometimes a team kind of knows your little place.
Yeah.
They beat up on who they play NCAA last game. They got McNeese on deck, so this is a game where they're probably focused on, right? You want to get right against a top team, but as I said, I kind of like Virginia here in a revenge spot. The line again, it's from a half to a 1. I'm thinking though, I'm going to go under the total here. So I'm seeing 113s out there, 114s. Houston's going to bring defense. Virginia's always a defensive club, an experienced club, right? All these guys who got whipped by 20, they're back this year. I'm sure that's in their minds. Now, do I think it's a repeat in 67-47 the other way? Probably not. But the way Houston plays and Virginia, you know how to plan for these guys. They're going to come out, defense, no turnovers. They're going to just plot around. I got to say under here, 130, and that's low. Like we see some college basketball totals, 113, 114, 115. If somebody gets to 60, you're like, I'm in trouble here. That's, but for me, I see a number like that. Whereas, 60, 55, I could be a loser here. I still think this game plays into the 50s. I think this will be a low scoring, ugly kind of affair. Houston, we've seen them put clamps on bad teams and roll 90-40, but against a good team that plays similar style defense, sometimes the shots don't fall. I won't be shocked at like a 51-50 kind of game here. What I don't need is overtime. I don't need a 52 all and go to overtime and then, the wheels fall off. But I'm going to go under this. This is one of those spots where you see a 50 something in NFL or a 70 in college. We're like, wow, it looks so high or so low. And it's kind of my opposite thing comes in for betting. That's what I'm thinking here. This is my opposite thing. They want you to go over this number, and I think it's going to be a 55-47 kind of low scoring. I mean, really, I need under 110 here. I need 1 in the 50 and 1 in the 40s here to feel safe.
I believe the majority of bettors will jump all over the over in this game.
Yeah.
Because of the low number. And like I always say, if it's a real low number or a real high number, it's that for a reason. Okay. And I could almost assure you both of these teams play. I know that Virginia still plays at a plodding, slow pace. They're a little better offensively this year, but they haven't met anybody that plays with the defensive intensity that Houston plays with. And vice versa. I mean, Alabama, they played Alabama, but Alabama likes to get up and down and shoot threes. So this game could very easily play in the low 50s, and I can't disagree. I don't have the Calhouns that Sean has to bet this game myself, but I would bet on him. And if he says under 113, that's what I like to go with. All right, I'm going to take a look at the Kansas and Indiana game. That game will be played in Lawrence, Kansas. And right now, we're looking at a line of Kansas -6, and the total in this game, 142. I'm also going to look at the total, but I'm going to go in a different direction than Sean just did, because here's the thing. Kansas has scored 80 points or more in 7 of 10 games this year. They're number 14 in the country, according to KenPom, in offensive efficiency, adjusted offensive efficiency to be specific. And what does that mean? Well, they score 114.1 points per 100 offensive possessions on average, which is very, very good. They're coming off 91-65 and 95-67 wins over Seton Hall and Missouri. So they put up huge offensive numbers in both of those games. Indiana is no slouch offensively themselves. They've scored 75 or more in 9 of 10 games this year. They're number 23 in offensive efficiency at 112.7 points per 100 offensive possessions. This is an Indiana team that does not shoot a lot of threes. As a matter of fact, they only shoot out of their shot attempts, only 32.2% of their field goal attempts are of the 3-point variety. And that's extremely low. As a matter of fact, out of 363 teams in Division I basketball, Indiana is 300 in that category in terms of how many threes they shoot compared to twos. Now, where am I going with this? Quite simple. They hit 58% of their 2-point shots, which is even more impressive, Sean, if you think about it, because they don't shoot a lot of threes, and the opposing defenses know that, yet they still convert on 58% of their 2-point shots. So I'm going to take a shot here. Indiana, Kansas over 142.5 on Saturday. And Sean Higgs, he likes Virginia and Houston. Don't be scared by the low number. Go under 113. Any final words, Sean, before we sign off?
I'm sure people are going to have an opinion because they see two ranked teams like Indiana and Kansas who want to get a side. And that looks like a big number because I'm kind of high on Indiana.
Yeah.
But I see that 6-ish, 7.
Yeah, it's a
I
heavy,
lean to Kansas. That's a big number for two pretty good teams.
I call it a heavy number.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's
4. Okay, 4.
Yeah.
7, 6, 7. You're like, I look at those numbers and that might as well be 10 because you need a little wiggle room when somebody buries late threes on you. So that 6, 7 might as well be a 10 in my book.
Exactly. So there you have it, folks. You got 2 free college basketball winners on Saturday, December 17th. Sean will be back with us on Tuesday. And then again next Friday. So I look forward to that. And I'll be back with Jesse Schul later for 2 more college basketball picks on this YouTube channel. Speaking of which, folks, if you have not subscribed yet, please take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing, and you have privy to some of the finest handicappers in the country, not only myself and Sean, but also Jesse Schul, Big Al McMorty, Doug Upstone of DocSports.net. So again, folks, subscribe, and don't forget to give us a like at the end of the video. I'd like to wish each and every one of you, from both of us, a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Have fun, but stay safe. Take care, and God bless, folks.